our main event, there's Israel Pito Cardona, 24-0 with 18 knockouts, 22 years of age. He's won 5 consecutive via the knockout. He's coming up in our main event as he squares off against Hector Lopez tonight from Kansas City on the Deuce. Bob Papa and Al Bernstein back in Kansas City, Missouri, the Hale Arena. Our main event getting set to start. Israel Cardona undefeated at 24-0 with 18 knockouts against Hector Lopez, 33-5-1 with 17 knockouts. And now when you talk about Hector Lopez, you're talking about a guy who has been battle-tested and really wants to reestablish himself against a guy like Cardona.
You know, and Hector Lopez is not far off the title picture. I mean, he is a man that has had some big wins. We mentioned they lost twice in title matches, both close matches, once in the lightweight and once in the junior welterweight division. He's a guy who knows that it's going to be very tough against Cardona, but he is a man who is still in the picture.
Lopez last fought on November the 16th, comes up with a win against John Avila. Meanwhile, Pito Cardona, 24-0 with 18 knockouts. He's 22 years of age. We saw him against Francisco Cruz in Rhode Island back in August. He's a talented young man.
He really is, and he presents a very dangerous challenge for Hector Lopez. He's confident. He's a confident young fighter, and sometimes with athletes you can just tell when they feel like they can't lose, and that's the case with Cardona.
What do you look for early in the fight?
I look for Cardona to be very, very aggressive, to try and work the body as much as possible, and it's going to be up to Hector Lopez, the veteran, to counteract that and get his own attack in gear.
And if you haven't noticed or do not know, Hector Lopez comes from the Dennis Rodman School of Body Art. So you'll get a good look at that throughout the course of the night. We're set for our main event tonight here in Kansas City. To our ring announcer we go, and Mark Bureau.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Holden Productions and Harrah's North Kansas City Casino and Hotel and Budweiser, the undisputed, undefeated king of beers, this Buds for You presents main event, 10 rounds, welterweights. Your referee for this event from Kansas City, Missouri, Ross Strada. Introducing now the principals in the red corner to my right, wearing the red trunks with white and blue trim, weighing 139 pounds. He is undefeated in 24 professional bouts. He has 18 wins by way of knockout. He hails from Hartford, Connecticut. Here is Israel Cardona. His opponent in the blue corner, wearing the blue trunks, white trim and black trim, weighing in at 142 pounds. His professional record, 33 victories, 5 defeats, 1 draw, 17 wins by way of knockout. In Lijo, la República de Mexico, now making his home in Palmdale, California. Here is Hector Torero Lopez. 10 rounds, welterweights.
Let's take a look at the rules as governed by the state of Missouri for tonight's main event. There is a 10-point must system, 3 knockdown rule in effect. Standing 8 count is not in effect. You can only be saved by the bell in the final round. 3 judges score the fight accidental headbutt. If more than 5 rounds are completed, it'll go to the scorecards. If not, we will have a technical draw. Hector Lopez, in his last 3 fights, all victories. Last fought in California against John Avila. His previous 4 fights were in Australia. In fact, earlier tonight, Al, he came up to you and asked if these fights would be seen in Australia. He's developing a fan base down under.
And in fact, they do make their way there. So Hector Lopez will be seen.
ESPN International.
We're everywhere.
We saw Cardona fight on the undercard when we were at the Mohegan Sun on January 10th. 5th round TKO of Andre Cray. And he fought here on the Deuce on August the 11th in Rhode Island. First round knockout of Francisco Cruz. That was the co-feature on our Brian Barbosa, Robert Allen USBA title fight.
Keep up, Hector. Keep up. Come on, baby.
This really has the makings, I think, of an excellent bout. It's one, since we found out this bout was in place, I've looked forward to seeing it, because you really do have a young fighter against a veteran who is not at all beyond, his skills, still a young veteran at 30, and it should make for a good matchup.
Cardona has 7 first-round knockouts. Lopez has only 2 first-round knockouts. In fact, the last one occurred on September the 9th of 1985 in Mexico against Ernesto Martinez. That's 11 years, 6 months, 7 days ago, or 34 fights, depending on how you're scoring it at home. One thing I remember about Cardona, pretty good body work.
Very good body puncher. He hits very well down there. And Hector Lopez's mission, and we see it already here in the first round, is to make sure he gives enough movement so Cardona can't do that to him. And there you see Cardona trying to go downstairs. He is facing, though, trust me, a much craftier and more clever opponent than he has seen yet in his career.
Both boxers doing some good work on the inside. 1 minute to go in round number 1. Lopez has 5 career losses, losing to Constantine Zhu, Miguel Gonzalez, Sammy Fuentes, and Alfonso Sanchez.
And the first 3 you named were champions, and they also lost to Georgie Navarro, who's a very good fighter back then, and he's beaten the likes of Bernard Taylor,
and Juan Laporte.
So when he's in against good people, he doesn't fold. Even in the losses, they were decision losses. He's been tough against everybody.
The only real name on Cardona's fight is Jeff Mayweather. A 12-round decision against Mayweather. In fact, knocked Mayweather down in that 12th round.
Hector Lopez is doing some very nice work here in round 1, both to the body and the head.
Come to the end of round 1, scheduled for 10. Lopez and Cardona. 2 from the Hale Arena in Kansas City. Bob Papa along with Al Bernstein. Hope you're enjoying tonight's action on the Deuce. Hector Lopez in the blue. Israel Pito Cardona in the red. Cardona tripling up with that left hand.
Both men have very good hooks to the body. We've seen Lopez use his, and there it is.
Take a look at the distance comparisons, and the younger Cardona gets most of his work done early. 21 of Lopez's 39 career fights have gone 9 or more rounds, and Lopez with a little combination.
Well, Pito Cardona does not want to stand in the center of the ring with Lopez. He needs to get him against the ropes where he can really rip combinations. He needs to cut off the ring, which he's doing a little better right there. And that's where he wants Lopez, right there. And then he needs to go to town on him.
He doubled up with his left and has found the mark. Lopez ducks away from some danger.
See, it's not going to be so easy for Pito Cardona. He's a very good young fighter, but he's in against a guy who will give him more looks, more defense, and he's going to learn tonight.
Good uppercut by Lopez. Lopez has 15 more career professional fights. He has 299 rounds in the book professionally, now 300 after the first round. Cardona has 87. And an average Lopez fight goes about 7.5 rounds. Cardona fights usually end in half that.
Lots of movement from Lopez, and a lot will depend on whether he can keep that movement up.
This is a good round for Lopez.
Oh, superb. He had a good round in the first round, too. He's always had this kind of boxing skill and has used it throughout most of his career.
Well, Lopez only took this fight on about 11 days' notice, and the reason why he took it, the television fight.
He is on as much of a marketing campaign as anything else. He wants to remind the world that he should get a title shot. He lost in his junior welterweight title match against Sammy Fuentes, who was the WBO champion, and he lost to Miguel Angel Gonzalez when he had a chance to win the lightweight title, both decision losses. And
one to Fuentes was a split decision. In fact, Fuentes was badly cut in that fight. And the thing that might have hurt Lopez was he was knocked down in round 1.
So there's no reason for Lopez to not feel that a couple of good wins could get him a title shot against someone.
Closing seconds of round 2. Lopez and Cardona on the deuce. We begin round number 3. Bob Papa along with Al Bernstein from the Hale Arena in Kansas City. Hope you're enjoying tonight's action on ESPN2. Hector Lopez, 30 years of age in the blue. Israel Cardona in the red in the junior welterweight division. And Cardona trying to dig in on Lopez.
And when he gets him against those ropes, that's where he can do his good work. But make no mistake, Lopez is also counterpunching well from that posture. I'm telling you, this is going to be a very entertaining bout before it's through. It already is now.
Up, Hector.
And Bob, I think when we're done with this one, we'll have seen two guys throw as many good body shots as you're likely to see from two fighters in one bout.
Boy, and if you throw in Fred Norwood, who we saw earlier in this weight class with body shots, like a body snatcher night on the deuce.
And of course, the body snatcher is the very guy we're going to see on the 22nd on ESPN, Mike McCallum. How's that for a segue into a promo?
You're smooth. Take a look at the punches through round 2.
See how close it is already here, even though I've given Lopez the first 2 rounds. And I'll tell you what, he's boxing very smartly here.
Lopez has 3 third-round knockouts. Cardona has 1. In fact, Cardona has 12 of his career 18 knockouts in the first 2 rounds, so normally he gets you early.
I think this is a quicker start than Lopez might have even expected for him. Which isn't to say that Cardona hasn't done some good work. He certainly has. Cardona is not cutting off the ring as well as he might. He's following Lopez around. Nice hook by Lopez. Boy, he can get that hook in.
And there's a hook to the body by Cardona.
This is going to be a pleasure to watch, I'll tell you.
If it lasts.
Lopez in the center of the ring is more effective. Cardona, when he can get him against the ropes, gets more done.
While Lopez had little time to prepare for this bout, Cardona sparred about 150 rounds. He's about 6 to 7 weeks of training. Worked that in while being a Cub Scout leader.
And among the people, yes, he is in fact a Cub Scout leader. I don't know if we've ever known that about a boxer before, that he was a Cub Scout leader. You, in fact, relate to that because you were in the Cub Scouts when you were a youngster. You've admitted as much to us. I spent only a short time in there, but you are a veteran of the Cub Scouts.
I never made it to the Boy Scout level.
Well,
final seconds of round 3. Cardona and Lopez on the deuce. We are in Kansas City, Missouri. On the deuce, Bob Papa along with Al Bernstein, and round number 4 underway in our main event. Pito Cardona in the red, attacking Hector Lopez to start round 4 after Lopez has controlled some wild action through the first 3 rounds.
I think it's important for Pito Cardona to really start making some things happen here. Get inside and work the body and the head of Lopez. And, of course, it's not the lack of trying, but it's just that Lopez has fought so well, I think, over these first 3 rounds.
Lopez was a silver medalist for Mexico in the 1984 Los Angeles Olympic Games. Al, take a look at your scorecard through 3 rounds.
You know, as close a fight as these rounds have been, I have to give Lopez all 3 of the rounds.
And the last round of Cardona.
Yeah, and you could easily do it. So, but see, that's the kind of action in the middle of the ring I think is piling up points for Lopez.
Keep up, Pito.
That was interesting. The referee said, keep him up, Pito, and Cardona gave him a nasty look, saying, hey, that was a legal punch. I tend to agree with Pito. You were talking about the sparring of Cardona. He sparred with some pretty impressive folks. Dana Rosenblatt, Louis Viter, Sam Gerard.
All boxers we've seen here on ESPN. Lopez makes Cardona miss and dances away.
Well, if Lopez can keep up this foot movement the entire way, and that may be a big if, he's going to be in pretty good shape because Cardona's having trouble dealing with it.
That was ring generalship at its best there.
Yes, it was. A phrase not often heard these days, but an appropriate one. And Lopez switched to lefty momentarily. It's one thing to move, but what Lopez does that's effective is then he'll stop, throw 3-4 punches in combination, then get out of there.
Stay in that corner for me. Get in that corner.
Now the referee, Ross
Keep
Strada,
quiet in the corner and stay off the ring apron.
warning the corners. What is this, amateur boxing?
I guess he wants him off the ring apron, but
Keep it quiet in the corner.
usually you don't hear that.
Or it's back at the Olympics again. Stop! Box!
I love when you say that.
Final 20 seconds, and look at Lopez. He'll answer anything Cardona throws his way. Hector feeling it. Round 4 to an end.
Coming up.
And we begin round number 5 from Kansas City. Bob Papa along with Al Bernstein, Hector Lopez in the blue, Israel Cardona of Hartford, Connecticut, undefeated 24-0 with 18 knockouts in the red. Been a very close fight with a lot of action to this point.
And I think the thing that may be putting Lopez over in a lot of these rounds is he's averaging 88 punches per round.
That's a lot.
More than Cardona. I have Lopez winning at 40-36, and I very much understand it could be a little different in someone else's mind. I just think he is taking these rounds.
Like I have it 39-37.
For instance, in your mind, you would be an example.
Gave round 3 to Cardona. Take a look at the numbers through 4 rounds.
And see, so there's only a 15-punch difference, which isn't very big. But, of course, you could space that out over a 4-round period and still have him winning each round.
Now, as you mentioned, Cardona has 18 knockouts and 24 professional victories, but this is the last round he's ever recorded a knockout in. He has 4 fifth-round knockouts.
And I'm going to tell you something about the punch profile numbers. They count body punches, as they should, mind you. And so Cardona, with those body punches, gets credit. I don't know if the judges are going to give him as much credit for those body punches as punch profile is. So that's why I also tend to think Lopez might be winning more of these rounds.
Lopez cautioned for a low blow. It's the second time that referee Strada has cautioned him for that.
Both men are doing such a good job. Now, look at Lopez's movement. It is less in this round. Already his movement is less, and that will help Cardona as this fight moves on. And already it's helping him in this round because he's able to get a few more shots in.
Good right hand by Lopez.
He has found a home for the left hook also, Hector Lopez. That's not his stock in trade, the left hook. That's not his main power weapon. Well, he can get it in against Cardona, and he's landing it. This is a very, very good bout. Cardona now talking to Lopez a little bit.
Lopez staying right within his game plan. Lopez says he hates to train, hates running, hates having to make weight, but he loves the pre-fight hype and the actual fight itself.
He's a magnetic personality. Hector always has been. He's entertaining. He gives you your money's worth.
Final seconds of round 5, the midway point. Lopez looking for an upset. Continues from Kansas City. Hale Arena in Kansas City, round number 6 underway. The men in the ring, Hector Lopez and Pito Cardona. In a 10-round junior welterweight bout, Cardona 24-0 with 18 knockouts. So far, Lopez, in the first 5 rounds, has given him all he can handle.
And this is the posture Cardona wants him in. How much can he make happen in this posture? He's doing pretty well, but also Lopez is countering well off the ropes.
Sure shot Cardona landed, Lopez has landed at least one.
And there's give and take against those ropes, and as you say, not necessarily a big edge for one man or the other. And if Lopez can get away with that once in a while on the ropes and not lose those exchanges, to him that's like winning them, because in the center of the ring he takes control, as he is here.
Remember the number in round number 5 that Lopez landed.
Watch your head, both of you.
Lopez just keeps his arms chugging.
He's not looking to land huge power punches. I think Cardona's landing up or loading up a little bit more than him. Lopez just wants to keep landing and stay busy and sustain the effort. And a key will really be whether Lopez can sustain this pace over a full bout. But he's done pretty good over 5.5, hasn't he?
Sure has, and
a lot of arm punches though now from Lopez.
not a lot of power, but keeps throwing them.
Keep him up.
There's a double body hook by Lopez.
And he throws those double left hooks Cardona does so well. In this round, he has done some pretty good work to the body. And now you see less movement from Lopez. We're seeing a little shift in this bout in this round. Even though it's a close round, you can see the fatigue, I think, starting to set in a little bit with Lopez. Not moving quite as well, throwing a lot more arm punches.
Is he saving himself, maybe?
Well, that remains to be seen. It's possible.
Does he think he has 4 of the first 5 in the bag and maybe taking this one off?
That is conceivable. It's not to say he didn't do good work in this round, but I think this was Cardona's best round of the bout.
Final seconds of round 6. Taking to the corner of Hector Lopez. Round number 7. Lopez and Cardona not able to really make out what they said to Lopez in between round 6 and 7, but Al, you have some numbers there, and also I would think Cardona, who we were so impressed with when we saw him in Rhode Island with his body work, he had good body work in that last round. You think maybe he wants to establish more of a body attack?
Yeah, definitely now, and I think he wants to establish an inside attack. And we'll see. This is going to be a pivotal round. Let's see what Lopez has in this round. Let's see if I was right that he was slowing down a little bit in the last round. His movement has slowed, but that doesn't mean he's not throwing punches, which you see he's still doing. Ironically, he did out-punch Cardona in the last round, landing 36 to Cardona's 28, yet I ended up giving the round to Cardona. So it's intriguing. Lopez is throwing a lot of punches. He threw 122 in the last round.
Numbers through round 6.
And you see now Lopez building up a pretty decent margin.
Cardona says, woo, but he's getting hit. Even though they are arm punches, they're scoring.
Absolutely. Pito Cardona is getting a boxing lesson right now. It's not that he's performing badly. It's not that he's not making a few things happen, but he is unable to deal with the movement and the constant punching of Hector Lopez.
He's not necessarily getting hurt when you get hit with combinations. Judges see that.
as I see it there in my card, with a 4-point edge for Hector Lopez. Only now, when Lopez is against the rope, does Cardona really have a chance to make something good happen. Let's see if he can. Not too much landing there, and in fact, Lopez counter-punching off the ropes pretty effectively.
Lopez blocking that left from Cardona.
Tonight will be an important night for Pito Cardona at age 22. Even if he doesn't get it done here, this bout will be such a learning experience for him. I'm sure has been at this point already. He would rather learn and get the win, though, I'm sure.
Lopez. I've heard of jump shots, never jump punches.
Look at the old jump pass that the quarterbacks used to throw. That it looks like that. Yeah. Even I'm too young to have seen that. You understand, but my dad told me about it.
Come on, you're a big Jim Thorpe fan.
Sid Luckman, I think. Huh?
Final 10 seconds of round 7. Lopez just dancing away from Pito Cardona. This one is scheduled for 10.
The battle is round 7.
Clean up that water.
Round 8.
Welcome back to Kansas City. Bob Papa along with Al Bernstein. Round number 8 underway. Pito Cardona in the red. Hector Lopez in the blue. These are junior welterweights. And Al, very interesting conversation in Cardona's corner in between rounds 7 and 8.
They're very confident. They think their man is winning a lot of these rounds, and I think they may believe he's winning this fight. And who knows? He may be.
You've won every round.
That's what I thought I'd heard.
Well, you have it almost opposite.
I've given 1 round, basically, to Cardona. And, I mean, I know some of the rounds were close. You've given 2 to Cardona.
Yeah.
But I just believe that Lopez is getting it done for the outside. You can't ignore all these punches he's landing, and he's ahead by 60 or 70 punches already in the punch profile. They've added to that in the last round, I would think, that margin. And those punches don't lie. And I'll tell you, I made the point, and it's true. They give credit to body punches, so they're giving the credit where it's due to Cardona, who has landed, I want to say, good 60 or 70% of his punches to the body.
Your heads in close, fellas. Ready to go, push it back. Gotta go downstairs, Pito. Let's go, push it back.
A little over a minute into round 8.
Right, left, right. Do it again. Yeah, freeze. Ready. Push it back.
Lopez does not have the zip he had on his punches earlier, but he's still landing quality shots.
Pito Cardona's going to have to really start landing some power punches, I think. There's a nice jab from Cardona, and he's underused that weapon.
Where's his body?
Watch those heads.
Well, he's been sticking with it, but I think in the last round or two, he's been having a hard time landing those shots.
Combination from Lopez.
Lopez is throwing so many more punches than Cardona. Nice body work there by Lopez. And still here in round 8, he shows us some foot movement.
I'm hooking that arm, Hector. Don't be hooking that arm.
That was a nice hook downstairs by Cardona. That's the kind of thing that he's needed to do more consistently in this match. Those were blocked by Cardona, but again, you have a 3-punch combination. Even if the judges think one of those punches got in. Again, downstairs goes Cardona with a good left hook. He's not doubling with that punch as much as we have seen from him in the past.
Your hands are free work.
No matter what, Hector Lopez is going to be a little sore around the midsection tomorrow.
And Lopez showing some bounce here at the end of round 8.
And remember the graphic that showed you how many more times Lopez has been into this territory than Cardona.
And at the end of round number 8. Super Tuesday on
something else, you gotta make him back up. He can fight. Right? When we inside here, he can shoot a shot, you block him, run off, block and go. Okay, so that doesn't get through. Right?
Doug Huntley giving some advice to Hector Lopez.
We get set for the start of the 9th round, and Pito Cardona has only been past the 8th round twice, whereas Lopez has been past the 8th round 21 times.
And you know, in most of these rounds, the key element, I think, is that Lopez is throwing about 30 or 40 more punches than Cardona. And so, as in the last round where he ended up with 38 connects and Cardona had about a little over 30, you could say, well, it's close enough round, maybe Cardona won it. But if you don't have the luxury of the punch profile and you're a judge sitting there, you just know Lopez has thrown maybe double the amount of punches.
And here we are through round 8.
Through the 8th, you see not just landed, but look over here to the left. How many more are thrown? The judges have got to feel that some more than those 279 might have gotten in because, you know, you can't. They're not doing what the punch profile people are doing, counting every punch. You see guys that much busier, he's going to get the nod more often than not. And, you know, Cardona has done some things in this match to show you why he's such a good young prospect. But I don't think he's been as consistent with it as he would like to be.
That's 319 more punches thrown.
That's a lot. Thank you for your on-the-spot arithmetic. You didn't cheat or anything. You didn't use a calculator, did you? All right. Good.
Midway point of round 9. Now I have Lopez ahead by 2 points, 77-75. I know you have a little more in favor of Lopez. Let's see how the judges have it.
And it could very well be a pretty close fight, but I just think Lopez has done the job in terms of boxing. On this round, see, Cardona has never been able to cut off the ring on Lopez, and I know that's one thing his people will look at and not be happy about. He's had to follow Lopez around the ring. Now, they may make the claim, hey, our guy made the fight, this guy moved most of the time. But even in moving, Lopez has thrown a lot of punches at Cardona.
Lopez, to this point, has performed very, very soundly.
Yeah, he really has.
With technical effort. Oh, he had a left there as he tried to slip away.
And that's what Cardona has not been able to do, stop him with a left hook from moving. There you go. That's the lead right hand, stopping him from moving to the right. So now what does he do? He pushes him against the ropes where he can work the body. That's what they've wanted from Pito Cardona throughout most of this fight, but that's one of the rare instances where we've seen it.
Is it too little, too late? Final seconds in round 9. The 10th and final round still to come.
I gave Pito Cardona the last round on the strength of some action like this. Landed a good straight right hand and then pushed Lopez against the ropes, and then he worked on him while he had him there.
And round number 10 underway, the 10th and final round. Lopez and Cardona. The right hand from Cardona.
And why is all this happening? Because Lopez is standing right in front of him. Now, if you're Hector Lopez, you may be saying to yourself, okay, maybe I think I've done a good job of boxing, but I'm not sure what the judges think. I may have to stand in the trenches with this young man and prove a point to win this last round. And they are going at it, aren't they?
Now your scorecard, 1 minute into round 10.
I have Lopez ahead, 88-83. I gave Cardona the last round, but I still have a comfortable lead for Lopez.
I have an 86-85 Lopez. Doing the last 2 to Cardona.
And understand, I have a healthy respect for Pito Cardona. I think he's a tremendous prospect, and I think he's done some nice things in this fight. I just haven't been able to give him a lot of these close rounds. Maybe the judges will be able to do that, and he might be in better shape as he is on your scorecard. In either case,
he's losing.
Well, in either case, he may be losing, but in either case, he's certain things in his style that he hasn't figured out yet are being exposed, like the inability to cut the ring off and deal with the classic boxer. But when he's on the inside, Cardona's able to get some things done.
Now a good combination there from Pito. Lopez gets on the bicycle and tries a little uppercut.
He's striking now. I think Hector Lopez is kind of near the end of the gas tank, and now he's doing all the tricks that a veteran knows.
He ducked away from one punch, A to left. Remember, Lopez took this fight on just 11 days' notice.
And it's showing now, and it's Cardona now who is rallying here in the last round, and I would think he would need that any way you look at it.
Right from Cardona.
No question, Cardona is now winning this last round. Would that be enough to get him this decision?
Lopez hanging on.
He's a tired boxer right now, Hector Lopez. I do think, though, Cardona should have stepped up this attack and gotten this done earlier, if at all possible.
Will it be enough? No knockdowns in this fight. Shot to the chest from Pito. Quite an intriguing fight in round number 10. Cardona landed 43% of his punches, Lopez 42. For the decision, our ring announcer, Mark Biro.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a split decision. Judge Michael Hutman scores it 96-94 Cardona. Judge Fred Benson scores it 97-93 Lopez. Judge Bill Evans scores it 96-94 to the winner by split decision, Hector Lopez.
Hector Lopez in a mild upset with a split decision over Israel Pito Cardona. Cardona takes his first career loss. You're just wondering, I gave you my scores during the course of the night. When I added them all up, I had it 95-95. So the split decision sort of in line with the judges. Let's send it up to Al Bernstein.
I'm here with Hector Lopez, who I also thought won this decision. You performed very, very well, especially in the early rounds. You boxed superbly, and I think maybe taking this fight on short notice caught up with you in the later rounds, huh?
Well, yeah, well, actually, I was getting ready to fight next month on the 17th, but they called me in the fight like 10 days ago, you know, and it was a good TV fight. It was just a great... I've been in ESPN since '86, so I figured it was time to come back.
Hey, we're glad to have you back. Early in the fight, you used a lot of foot movement, and it seemed like he had a hard time cutting off the ring on you.
Yeah, well, that was all, but he also, my trainer, Dub, also said that he had trouble when I back him up, so basically I try to sit a little bit more set and save my legs. You know, I usually move a lot more, but, you know, it was like a short notice, but I'm not making no excuses. Yeah, short notice, too. I was just, you know, grateful that we'll get a win.
He's a good young fighter and a very good body puncher. Did that body work bother you at all during the course of the fight?
Well, hey, anybody that gets hit with the body, I don't care who you are, you can feel it, you know what I'm saying? But I give him credit, and he'll give a lot of people trouble, you know. I didn't take him lightly because, you know, he was undefeated, you know, and I always have they always give me those tough nuts to crack, but it's all right. I don't mind cracking that.
Now you are, I'm going to pass right by that one. You are in the junior welterweight division. You're a guy who gave Costa-Zoo all he could handle for 10 rounds. I would think that they would have to look at you as a real good possibility to challenge one of the champions in the junior welterweights.
Well, like I said before, you know, I'm not trying to blow my own horn, but I'll fight anybody in the world as long as they have two hands, weigh 140 pounds. It doesn't matter who it is, you know. I'm not, you know, I know what I could do, and I've been there with all of them, so, you know, they ain't sitting down, but let's dance.
I mentioned Costa-Zoo, and you did give him a pretty good battle when you fought. Well, and you say you beat him, and some people would think that. Is that a guy you would like to target?
Oh, I would love to fight Costa-Zoo, but I got a chance to work with him for a few of his fights against Pineda and a couple of fights, Corey Johnson, and basically, you know, like I said before, I got his number and I can call him collect, so they won't fight me.
Now, at the age of 30, you've really, in the last couple of years, some people were starting to write you off in boxing, but you've resurrected your career and you've shown a lot of toughness, as in tonight, because Pito Cardona, a very good young fighter. This was a dangerous fight. Not everyone would take this fight. Do you think you've shown the boxing world that you're back to a contending situation?
Well, this is my 6th win in a row. I had 4 fights in Australia and 1 in Los Angeles. Now this one, and I'm just like that little Energizer rabbit, you know, I just keep on going and going.
Hector, hey, very nice to see you again.
I'd like to thank you, and God bless all of you and everybody back in Australia. Hey, mates.
All right, Hector with his newfound fans in Australia, and they'll see this. Let's go back.